everyone, welcome to this Knit with Hannah tips and tricks video. I'm Hannah. I have been knitting since I was a child and I teach knitting with various e-courses available on my website knitwithhannah.co.uk. Do you ever get that feeling when you pick up your knitting that you think you know which stitch comes next, but you just hope that you won't be proved wrong? Today I'm going to show you how to distinguish between the knit and purl rows when you're knitting stocking stitch. When you're knitting a project which takes more than one stitching, you can pick up your needles and know exactly where you are. You will be able to decide for yourself with confidence whether you need to start with a purl row or a knit row. So you're in the middle of knitting, you've put it down, you've had a cup of tea or it's the next day, you pick it up and you say, what stitch, what pattern do I need to do on this next row when I've picked it up? I'm not sure. How do I do it? How do I know? Well, let's have a look. You can tell that it looks different on each side. We have the garter stitch border at the bottom here, and this is the stocking stitch that we've made by using the purl stitch on every other row. That's what it looks like from one side. And on the other side, it looks like it's garter stitch all the way through. So if you take a close look when you're knitting either the knit stitch or the purl stitch, you will recognise and realise where the stitches are dropped from the previous row as you create the new row. Let me show you, but first of all let me just say, if you don't want to do that and you just want it easy, if this is facing you on your left hand needle, you need to do 2 stitches with the knit stitch all the way along with the purl stitch, and then 2 stitches with the knit stitch. It's as easy as that. I can tell you now, if that is facing you, you need to do that pattern. And if this is facing you with the point of the needle at this end and you're about to knit, all the way along the row you knit. So it looks like this. It will be knit stitch. Let me just show you. When we knit at the border here, with the 2 knit stitches, as we let go of this stitch off the bottom needle here, it's falling behind. Let me do that again. This stitch here is falling behind that right hand needle. That's what happens when you do a knit stitch. The stitch falls behind. So now we put in the yarn at the front of the needle and we're going to do the purl. We put the needle through the stitch here and we pull it around. Now where does this stitch go? It falls to the front of our knitting. So this is why when you do stocking stitch and you have purl stitches, you have all of the discarded stitches here because you're purling one row when they fall in front, and the next row when you're knitting they fall behind. So all of the discarded stitches are on one side of your knitted fabric. I hope that is easy for you and you understand what I'm talking about. Basically, if you have this texture facing you, you need to purl. Thank you for watching. This tips and tricks video was taken from my beginner's smartphone case e-course, available on my website knitwithhannah.co.uk for free. Please share any questions or requests for videos in the comments below. You can find me on Instagram, and please share your knitting projects with me at knitwithhannah, #knitwithhannah.